Today I would like to show you a few tips on how to work with your resin, kind of easy, not to get bubbles, that type of thing, and how to start from the beginning. So before we begin, you need to have your safety equipment, which is your proper ventilator mask. Specifically if you have got problems with your lungs, it's not a good idea to work with resin without a mask if you have a lung issue already, and also in a very well ventilated area. So I'm actually working outside today. And then you must put on some gloves. If you have got sensitive skin, then I would go with proper fabric gloves, not these little surgical gloves. But I'm okay with my skin. However, my lungs are not great, so I will be talking you through a few things, and then I'll have to put on my ventilator when I start working with the resin, so I won't be able to speak to you. We'll just show you with hand motions what to do. The resin that I work with is 1:1, and that is with milliliters, not with weight. So what I've done is I've actually pre-measured on a measuring cup. I've measured off the 30 milliliter and a 60 milliliter. So I'll pour my resin into the 30 milliliter mark and then top it up with the hardener to the 60 milliliter mark. Then I'll pour it into a bigger cup and then I'll stir. Now the biggest problem that you've got besides measuring wrong with resin is bubbles. You get these very, very fine little bubbles, and then when you demold your resin, it looks cloudy and not beautiful crystal clear like glass. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to avoid that. First thing is, when you mix, you're going to use a little mixing spoon, or you can use this is just a popsicle stick, or you can use a stirring stick. When you stir very slowly and you scrape off the sides. You don't whisk it. If you whisk your resin, you're going to incorporate bubbles. So just stir it nice and slowly. You have got time, it doesn't sit that quickly, and just push down the sides. I'll show you just now when I start working with the resin how to do it. Then when you finish mixing it, you can just put it to one side and let the bubbles rise. Then what I do is, if you're using a mold, it's nice to heat the mold up before you pour the resin in. You can either use a heat gun, be very careful with it because it does get very hot, or you can use a butane torch, whatever's easier. Just heat it up so that you don't pour it in really, really cold. Just very, very quickly. Or if you're using your gun, just like that. Then another thing as well, if it is quite cold and you want to work with resin does work better in a warmer environment. What I've done is I've boiled the kettle, or pre-boiled the kettle until just before boiling, so that's not too hot. Put some into a bowl of water, and then I've used thin plastic like your bread bags, and put my bottles in the bread bags to warm up. The reason I put them in the plastic is that when you take it out and you want to start measuring it off, the bottle's nice and dry and you won't drip water into your resin, because that's obviously not going to work so well. So you've got your part A and your part B. Okay, and those are some pretty good tips. Of course, when you finish pouring your resin, you just flame it off with your butane torch or with your heat gun. Don't pour it too thick, and you should have a very nice, beautiful, clear resin when you're finished. Thanks for watching. Bye.